Okay, and Robert here. We're on Elder West Farm. I just want to give you a little farm update. One thing we're working on here, as you can see, we had some corn growing, and it's actually harvest time. We're not getting the best harvest right now, but when you hear the story, we'll actually be pretty pleased that we got anything. So, what these are actually some some corn cobs that we had a couple months ago that actually started rotting. You know, we had them sitting too long and they were no longer edible. So I was about to just compost them, but when I went to take them out, I actually peeled a little back from the leaves and found that a lot of the kernels had started sprouting. So I decided, well, why not? I had these couple empty elevated beds here. So I just took the whole kernel. I was going to separate them, but they were breaking. I would have lost them. So I just thought, hey, let me go ahead and plant the whole cobs. I had several of them, enough to go in both these containers here. And I just put them in the ground, kind of spread them out between these. Probably a total of maybe 10, 12 cobs in each of these sections. And on each cob, several of them had sprouted. And just put them in, left them here, let the rain water them, and they took off. As you can see, they grew. What you see in here are not all of them. I have actually already, just glance up here, I've already pulled several of them out that have started drying up. And I'm going to go ahead and pull nearly all of them out now. There are a few that still have some cobs that aren't full grown, and I'm going to see if they turn out. So, you know, it's whatever we get off this is a bonus. First off, what I'm pulling out here, that's actually going to be feed for our goats and donkey. They love eating this. Corn is a grass. It may not be the most nutritious for their bodies, but it is a grass, and grass is a staple of goats and donkeys. And I tell you, when you give it to them, they love it. So that's where that's going to end up. None of this is going to waste. And I will say, like I said, if you come a little closer, you can see, because these did come late, I didn't plan this crop. We did lose a lot to some beetles. You can see some ants on there. You touch any of these, you see several ants come out. So the ants and the beetles got to them. If you look at any of these others, you can see a few ants crawling around. This is actually where I just took a cob off. But we did get a few. I've got them sitting over here. They're kind of small. Some of the kernels have already been eaten away, but we do have a couple good ears here. That looks beautiful. And like I said, these took almost no work. All I did was plant the rotting cobs and see what came up. And so we've got a few that probably be enough to get a meal for our family. Yeah, not all that's edible, but that's why I've set out the best ones. And like I said, the rest here, it'll be feed for the animals. What they're growing in is almost 100% compost, which I know most people don't recommend. I've kind of experimented with it, and you can see how these took off with almost no care. So it's proven well for us. Now there's one of the beetles that I think had gotten on them. Yeah, I also did find, I don't see any at the moment, but I did find some tiny beetle-like insects which also feed on these that ate a lot of the corn. And so we're going to pull them up. Like I say, what I'm doing here, I'm looking. This one, as you can see, this actually still has an ear of corn growing on it, so I'm going to leave it. These have two. They both look really good. The ants are in them, but I'll see if they grow. If the ants and the other insects get to them and eat them up, well, I'll just pull this out and feed it to the livestock later. But if not, well, maybe we'll have something good grow. So we can look over here. You can see where we've got a few, and of course I have to be careful. These ants got on there pretty quick. If I don't grab near the cob, these just come right out. See, very little root system. They pull right out, pile them all over there, let some of the ants lose interest and run off. I mean, this is something I could compost them down here, but they make great feed for the animals, so I'm going that route. Now, another thought too, when you're considering, if you consider what you might want to grow, corn is something, if you like corn, it doesn't take a whole lot of space. I mean, what you see in this here, I did not have as many actual plants growing, although I planted a lot of seed throwing the cobs in here. I've studied that you can put up to 64 corn plants in this little space because they have a very little root system. As you see when we pull it out, grab, yeah, this one doesn't even have an ear on it. See that whole plant? There's its root system right there. So they don't need a whole lot of space. They don't, as far as I understand, they don't seem to absorb a whole lot of nutrients from the soil. As far as needing a lot of space, a lot of water, they do of course take some minerals out, but that's okay. I mean, I'm adding a lot in here. This is very rich soil. So in this space, you can fit a lot of them, and corn will actually have a higher yield if it's close together anyways. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cleared out. We've removed all the ones that have exhausted what they're going to produce. We've got just a few left that have got some small ears here. See the ones that look healthy but are not full grown yet. We're going to just let them go, see how they turn out. Maybe we'll get some more, maybe not. Because these did start a little later than they should have. That's why they've been a little more susceptible to bugs. And again, because I didn't plant them, I didn't have a lot of the steps in place to discourage the bugs from coming through here. But we got them. See, there's the stack of the removed corn, or the removed stalks of corn. And as you see too, these are actually some cantaloupe, which I'll talk more about those in another video. That now that the corn is out of the way, I've kind of directed it out to grow away because I'm actually going to put some more in here later. You know, keep it producing, try to keep this space working as much as possible. When one thing goes, put another thing in. And see the same thing with the other one over here. You'll notice it's a lot clearer. We've got several stalks. Some of them may produce, some maybe not, but this is where we're at. We're making the most of what we have with the space here for the rest of the summer. Right? Well, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, I welcome feedback, and continue to watch our channel for more updates and other things, how-to videos and stories about what's going on here at Eldowette's Farm. Thank you.